Hi, this is Liza with Style Blueprint, and I am here with Jim Brown, who is the State Director for Tennessee with NFIB. And I'm calling on behalf of all of our clients. And at Style Blueprint, 100% basically of our clients, Jim, they're made up of small business owners,
Yep.
and they're scared right now, and we are trying to get them real information. And it's hard to Google information right now, and none of us can be watching TV all day long because we have things to attend to, and there's a lot of commentary going on and not real facts coming through, no matter where you're watching. And so we're trying to get them real information because they're having to make decisions. So with that, I was emailed last night a draft of a bill that apparently is going through Congress right now, and it talks about expanding the SBA 7A loans to include payroll support, such as paid sick or medical leave, employee salaries, mortgage payments, and other debt obligations. Um, if something like this were to go through, could you tell us how that impacts our small businesses, considering what happened 48 hours ago to small business?
Sure. So NFIB, the first thing that passed was the Families First Coronavirus Response Act, and that is a massive expansion of FMLA. And it also is mandating 10 days of paid sick leave.
Yeah.
So we're very concerned about that, right? Um, this bill, you just sent it to me. We do not have an official position on it, but what it looks like is it will provide business interruption relief. And we're sifting through it right now, Liza, just to find out what it really does. But it
Yeah.
looks like it's going to help with payroll, making payroll,
Yeah.
which is, we're hearing from our 6,000 members across Tennessee that they're scared. They don't know what to do. There's so much information out there that's changing by the day, by the hour. And so they're very concerned that they're going to make the wrong decision because of all the variables. So
Yeah.
I'll give you one example. There's a lady here who's got 4 fitness studios. She's got 50 some odd employees. It's above the 50. And so she could not request an exemption from this like some of the smaller businesses, the really small businesses. So she's trying to figure out whether she should wait for this to pass and then pay that mandated leave, or she should pay her folks right now, who she should lay off, who she shouldn't. So it's put her in a real quandary, and I'm hearing this from really hundreds of small business owners across the state. We've got 6,000 members across Tennessee, and the theme is common. We don't have a position on the bill that you just sent me, and I think Senator Rubio is the one that's working on this. We are talking to him. NFIB's federal team is talking to him about this.
Yes. Yes, this is Senator Rubio and maybe Collins are the ones that put this together. Is that right?
And we're looking at it, but I am hearing from members that like it because they feel that that bill probably should have, again, no position from us right now, but that bill should have passed before Families First.
Right, right. And so what we're trying to do, excuse me about that, at Style Blueprint is get real information to, our business owners, just like you are. And so one thing in this bill that I believe people need to understand if this passes, and again, things are changing, as you said, day by day, hour by hour. It could be minute by minute.
Right.
So this is, this interview is like with a timestamp on it. This is 2:08 p.m. on Friday, and things may have changed in the last hour. But when we're talking to business owners that are thinking about needing to lay people off because getting unemployment may actually give an employee more money than they're able to pay them right now.
This is when lawyers are really good.
Yes.
We hear about lawyers, and boy, they make a lot of money. Boy, they're earning their money right now. And if you've got a tax lawyer, if you are working with a firm, it is very important for you to be in touch with them because they are monitoring this very, very well. Just like NFIB is, your CPA also is doing the same thing. Your professionals are going to earn every cent by keeping track of this. I would just say from our members, we've got 300,000 across the country, 6,000 in Tennessee. We've got a page that's called NFIB.com/coronavirus. So we know that things are changing, like you say, so quickly.
Mhm.
And to, have as much certainty as you can, you need to go to trusted sources and not watch Fox and CNN and
Right.
MSNBC and all that stuff. Turn that off. You're a small business owner, you're in a survival mode, you want to keep your employees,
Mhm.
and get information from trusted sources.
I know,
Right?
and that's one of the reasons that it's even I even feel weird interviewing you right now about a draft of a bill because we know
Mhm.
it's going to change some. So again, this is a draft of a bill, but when I look at this, it says that if this provision stays in the bill, that if you get the SBA 7A loan to cover your payroll expenses, your rent, and debt forgiveness, that you will have loan forgiveness
Yeah.
from the federal government for all of those payroll costs and debt obligations from March 1st through June 30th. However, provisions being in there that you have to keep your employees on. And if you let them go,
Mhm.
that it says here the amount of the loan eligible for forgiveness will be reduced proportionally by the number of employees laid off during this period relative to the borrower's prior employment levels. It sounds to me like this bill going through is a bill to keep Americans employed.
It is what it looks like, and you're right, Liza. It's going to change, and the details. You've got access to very good information that other people don't. So this is great that you're doing it, but it's not certain.
It's not certain, right?
No, it's not. And it should have, like we talked about before, it should have passed before the families first. So there
Right.
was certainty, and we didn't have chaos with small business owners. There's a lot of good stuff going on also at the state level, which we should probably talk about.
Yeah,
Uh,
let's do that. Now I have just so you understand, we have uh, our advertisers are predominantly in Nashville, Memphis, Birmingham, and Louisville. So we do have some that are outside of Tennessee, but we have a lot just because two of our cities are here in Tennessee. So what is going on the state level?
so yeah, and by the way, I love your magazine and
Thank you.
restaurant reviews and that kind of thing. It's really cool. It's kind of like
Thank
Garden
you.
Gun. It's really good stuff.
Good.
Um,
Thank you. Right now, we're putting out 5 good things every morning. Every single morning, we are finding good things happening in the community, and that's what we're leading with because it's just otherwise there's a lot of it's harsh out there.
right. So at the state level, and we talk a little bit about Tennessee and Alabama and Kentucky, they're similar, but things are different. But Tennessee just passed a budget, an emergency budget, put 350 million into a state rainy day fund. It was originally going to be 50 million. They're now
Wow.
at close to 1.5 billion. So that was very wise.
Wait,
Uh,
I'm sorry. 350 million and 1.3
one,
billion. What was
1.5 billion is now close to it is in the rainy day fund. So that's just to head off if a lot of the priorities, the spending priorities that were put out there, those were put on hold and money went into the rainy day fund. So, and that's done just to make sure that if this goes on a while, that the likelihood of the tax increases, are lower because we've got, 35 or so days of operating funds in the state bank. So there's a discussion right now in all the states. I think Alabama and Kentucky. I don't know what Kentucky's done. I do know that South Carolina has extended their tax filing deadline. So we've got the F&E tax, franchise and excise.
Mhm.
We've got the business tax. You've got your monthly sales and use tax due on the 20th. Today's March 20th. So you've got discussions going on about whether Tennessee should follow what happened today on the federal level, which is an
right?
extension to July 15. We are talking to Governor Lee and his administration, and I'm sure businesses are doing the same thing in Alabama and Kentucky, saying, "Hey, can we have a little bit more time here?" And that just makes sense to be able to do that.
Yes.
And states are generally in a good position to be able to do that and delay and waive those penalties. Right now, if you filed late, you'd have to request a waiver to dismiss the penalty, which is even more money you would owe. So we don't want that. Um, and then this is the thing I'm hearing about the most today because Pennsylvania has basically said all businesses are shut down except non-essential businesses. Our phones ringing off the hook, emails. Governor Lee addressed this in his press conference this morning. He is not contemplating that right now.
Okay.
He doesn't want to do that. that
Mhm.
I'm hearing from members out in the country, in the rural areas. This is my busy time. My non-employees, I have to lay them off if this stops. I've got orders I'm filling. So we have asked the administration to be very mindful of that. The only thing I know that he said today that's a qualifier, which is he's a governor and he's got to say this, but if things change, he may have to reevaluate. But in Tennessee, at the moment, we're not having business closures, which is very good. And then Mayor Cooper at the local level, you know what he did last week? He cleared out downtown and Lower Broadway.
Right.
He's doing a good job
Yeah.
leading, and we're encouraging people to do the takeouts and that kind of thing for now. So those are things that are good for businesses here in Tennessee. But that's just a little bit of a state update. There's a lot more to talk about at the state level, but I know you called about the federal bills.
Well, I did, and really it's because there is so much fear out there right now. And so, basically when we are talking to business owners and they're making decisions on how to save their business, because the best thing that they can do for their employees
Mm-hmm.
is to have a business for some people to be able to work at and to be able to rehire from. Um, and none of us can give employers business advice, but with this bill that's going through federally, it does
It's
sound like
fast
it may
tracked.
be prudent to wait a few days.
Yeah, it's fast tracked. The other
Yeah.
bill was fast tracked, and what we were told, and this is kind of common knowledge out there, and it's important, is that the leadership said, "Hold your nose and vote for it. We got to get this done. We'll come back and fix it." What bill you sent to me looks like part of that fix. Again, wish they'd done it in reverse because it's put everyone in overdrive. But um, and then the last thing is, everyone's thinking about layoffs right now, right? And the number of claims have you seen in the New York Times and elsewhere? It's just soaring. We have $1.2 billion in our unemployment trust fund. All of your 500 vendors, they pay those employer taxes. You pay those employer taxes
Right.
for situations like this. We're pretty good in Tennessee and in many states we'll be able to weather a fairly short storm, a significant short storm. We're not going to weather a long storm with that money. We've got to have federal relief because, as you know, in 2009, we were borrowing from the federal government. Unemployment taxes soared, and it causes a longer term problem for businesses when it takes you many more months to recover because your taxes are higher. So we've been talking to the administration about that. If the federal relief that's coming, if this thing goes on for a while, it's important when you're calling your elected officials to let them know about these things.
So
This is
that would be the next call to action, because I know that it's hard to get people to listen to these interviews for a long time because they're just, like have to get back into work,
Yep.
which would be, one is that the potential of these SBA 7A loans, we're talking about money getting to you in a matter of days, not months. Like this is a quick, which is amazing. So it would, my advice to, my business owners is to get your paperwork together. I'm creating a Google Doc that says, here's everything so that you can get that lined up. So if this passes, you can, have all that information there. But there's another component to that, which is that for a bill like this, we know it's going to change some. It may have already changed right now. What can business owners do right now to tell the federal elected officials, we are dying here. We need your
no,
help. We need this
the
to
weeds.
pass.
The weeds are important, and we are in the weeds.
Yeah.
We all of us are right now trying to figure out what's the right course of action.
And this isn't a partisan thing. This is
Oh
like
no,
a small business thing. I
oh
think
no,
like partisan politics is out the window right now.
no, totally. And it's not Republican, Democrat, Independent at all. This
Mm.
is, if one thing is this virus has done, it's gotten us all kind of in solidarity that we're all
Yeah.
one group, one one globe. So I think that way it's been kind of a wake up call for us. But no, it's not partisan. And the thing about the Families First bill that caused so much concern is you had this tax credit process, which was going to be very bureaucratic. It was going to take you months probably to get that money. What looks good about this bill, again, we don't have a position on it yet, is that it's going to be quick
Yeah.
and be able to help you make payroll.
And
And
going back, I mean, it goes back to March 1st. I love
March
the fact that it's
1st,
retroactive.
March
Yeah.
1st, which is also looks very good. And
Yeah.
I've been getting some texts here while we're talking from some of my leaders that are members here in town in Nashville, saying they're looking at it too, kind of in real time like you are, and
Mhm.
they like it because of
Yeah.
that. So we'll see if they fast track it, get it done. You know, maybe that puts a finger in the dike, in the dam, and helps us to get through this.
Okay. And so
Oh,
for
so what
any,
can you
yeah,
do?
yeah.
So
What can you do?
we we encourage this all the time. You're either on the menu or at the table.
Right.
And if this has ever been a wake up call for you, if you don't belong to the chamber or you don't belong to an NFIB, or you're a construction you're a builder and you don't belong to the Associated Builders and Contractors, this is the time for you to realize you should be. You need to be at the table. You need to be getting the information, not searching for it. And it needs to be coming quickly so you can do the most important thing,
Mhm.
which is stop what you're doing, pick up the phone, call Senator Alexander, call Senator Blackburn, call Representative Cooper, call Representative Green, call them all, call your elected officials at the federal level. When it's a state issue, state, local. You've got to be able to pick up the phone when something like this is going on and say, I need you to vote for this.
And
I
just
need your help.
so everyone is clear that this bill is a federal bill. This is the draft
Mhm.
of a bill um, that we're hoping sees the light of day with not many changes. So this is a call to your federal congressmen, your senators. Is there anything going on a local level here in Tennessee that people also need to be calling about? Or is that, to me, it sounds like this is like, if you're going to make one call, it's on this.
So the legislature passed the budget last night around midnight, just before. They did not go sine die, is what we call it. They're going to come back apparently in June 1st. They have more business to look at. They'll probably look at where revenues are, and they're going to have some more substantive bills that they put on hold that will impact your business. That
Right.
will be debated. So in 2 months, you need to be paying attention again at what's going on at the state level. But they're home for now. Just read up on what they're doing. The governor's putting out a lot of executive orders every day and having a daily press conference. Pay attention to those. They are substantive.
Okay.
So that's what you can do in the short term. We watched this press conference this morning and learned a lot. The local level, I think Mayor Cooper again is doing a great job,
Mhm.
and pay attention to him and his team. Bill Phillips, his deputy mayor, they're terrific people,
Yeah.
and they're leading. They're doing a good job leading, and I think the Governor Lee and his team are doing very well also. So put the partisan stuff out,
Yeah.
turn off the noise, and focus on getting information. NFIB.com is one place you can do it.
All right, NFIB.com. And this was Jim Brown, State Director for Tennessee, and Liza Graves, CEO, Style Blueprint. And we're doing our best to help all our people out there. So thanks a lot.
Thank you, Liza. Appreciate your leadership.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.